Hi and welcome to another session. So in this session we will discuss about test management. Chapter 5 is about test management. So when we talk about the test management refers to the process of organizing and controlling the test activities. So we have test activities. So in this process we organize this, so we control all the activities. So it involves planning, execution, monitoring, and reporting to ensure that the software product meets the desired quality and standard. So effective test management ensures that all test activities are streamlined, documented, and controlled to minimize risks and defect. So this is very important to have proper test management process implemented, because in the larger organization where we have mature processes, we have proper test management policies implementation. So in the test management we have test plans, we have proper organizations with test independent level. So in the test organization we have independence, lower independence to higher independent testers. So in independence testing, we have the developer who is testing their own product. So which is there is no tester involved. So developer is testing or author is testing their own source code. So another level in test independent is the a tester from other department is testing that software. That can be buddy testing and so on. So third level can be independent tester team who test the software within organization. So they are reporting to their QA manager and so on. So when we talk about the developer testing their own products, yeah, they understands the system but will test gently. This is driven by delivery, whereas independent tester must learn about the system, so they attempt to break it, and so driven by quality. So in the other level could be independent tester from other departments. They can be user expert in the field, for example performance tester, usability tester, compliance people, and so on. So and the other level could be independent tester from third party other organization testing their product. We have contracted, we they have contract with us, so they are testing their product. They can be in-house and offshore teams. So with this there comes with some potential benefits of independence. Independent testers are more likely to find the defects which developers cannot find due to biasness. So so independent tester can verify, challenge, and disapprove assumption made by stakeholders during specification. So independent tester can be expert in domain, so they can challenge the assumption made by our stakeholders and so on. So this is the benefit of independent testing, but there are also some drawbacks. Potential drawbacks of testing independence include, as they are independent teams, so the developer may lose the sense of quality. So developer may think that the quality responsibility of test team. So uh, another could be that they are not in contact or with the regular contact with the development team, so there can be miscommunication gaps, and so there can be blame game between developer and independent tester team. So independent tester, another point is independent tester may lack some important information about the product. So as independent tester are far from away from development team, so then can be miscommunication, though they may miscommunicate and so on. So when we talk about tasks of test manager and tester, so in this syllabus, so there are two people involved, test manager and tester. So in QA team we have other roles also, as automation engineer, junior people. So but in this syllabus we have two test roles cover, test manager and tester. So activities and tasks performed by these roles depend on the project and product context. So it depends upon what type of project is and what type of product they are testing. So there can be e-commerce application, there will be safety critical application, depends the skills of the people in the role and organization. So let's discuss some manager test manager tasks. So test manager manages the art testing activity, manages the team. So as manager, he or she is responsible for planning the testing activities, prepare the test plans, mentors, guides the teams, developers the develops the test automation strategy, manual automation strategies, writes may plan guides to team how to write the test SC, how to report the bugs, and prepares the test environments, test automation environment. So maybe plans to give uh, for example manager, if there is no tool, a bug reporting tool there, so he or she will be responsible for budgeting, allocating the resources, and so on. These are all the activities manager involves in that. So a test manager also initiates the analysis, design, implementation, and execution of tests, monitor test progress reports. So test manager prepares the test progress reports, share the results with stakeholders, and checks the status of exit criteria, definition of done. So test manager also prepares and delivers test progress reports, those stakeholders every day, maybe on weekly basis. So it also adopts planning based on test results and progress. So also supports defect management system, so configuration management system, and so on. So test manager tasks are they have many tasks, responsibility. As a as a manager, he or she promotes the advocacy of tester. So test team and other profession within it. So test manager advocates the testing team, defends the testing team, guides mentors, develop the skill set, guides about their career, and so on. So when we talk about the tester's task, so tester is the person who follows the footstep of the manager. So it reviews and contributes to test plan, analyzing and reviews the requirement, user stories, and whatever is written in the user story, reviews is and studies the what is the acceptance criteria, what is exit criteria, and prepares the test plan. So identifies and documents the test condition. So it also studies the and traceability, develop the traceability between test cases, test spaces, and so on. So testers also reviews the tests written by other person, other qa person, junior person, and design and implements the test cases, maybe in automated, if there is no specialized automation tester, then they also prepare the test cases, automated test cases. So tester execute tests, evaluates their results, and documents deviation from expected results. So it also uses appropriate tool to facilitate the test process, automate tests as needed. So whenever there is required for automation, they use to automate it. Testers also test the non-functional requirements that can be usability, security, compatibility, and portability, and so on. So reviews tests developed by other person. This is responsibility of tester. So now let's discuss about test plan. So in the test plan is a document which says the scope, objective, and risk of testing. In the test plan we have in the test plan all the things are listed. For example, there is a automation test plan. We listed what tool we are going to use, what resources will be involved, when we will start, what will the entry criteria, what will be exit criteria. So in the test plan, we define the overall approach of testing, integration, and integrating and coordinating the activities throughout the software. We also define what software development life cycle is followed, and how will we plan test plan according to that. So in the test plan, we also do scheduling of test analysis, design, implementation, execution, and evaluation activities. So these are all done. We also selecting methods for tests, monitoring and control. So budgeting for the test activities, and determine the level of detail and structure for test documentation. So this was about a little bit about test plan. So let's discuss about the test strategy. So it's test strategy at high level. So in the test strategy, provides a generalized description of our testing effort. So it can be analytical, model based, methodological, process oriented, directed. It can be directed, regression averse, and reactive. So and depends upon the project and product and project characteristics. So when we talk about entry criteria, in entry criteria, we know it is written in the user story. So in the user story, we used to write entry criteria and exit criteria. So typical entry criteria includes availability of testable requirements, for example user story, or models, when if we are following model based testing strategy. So availability of test items that have met the exit criteria for any prior test levels. So availability of test environment, if the test environment is available, we can say that our entry criteria is the availability of necessary test tools, availability of test data and other necessary resources. So so let's just discuss about exit criteria. When will exit? So plan test cases has executed. So as you know, we cannot test each and everything. So we, if we achieve the desired level of quality, so we mostly high priority bugs are fixed, then we can say that we have met the exit criteria. So exit criteria also defined in the test plan. Also written the user stories. So in the exit criteria, we also the number of estimated remaining defects is sufficient low. So so our objective of testing is to identify the bugs and issues in the product. So if that are sufficiently low, then we can say that we have met the exit criteria. The evaluated level of reliability, performance, efficiency, usability, security, and other relevant quality characteristics are sufficient. So in the test execution schedule, the test suites can be arranged in a test execution schedule that defines the order in which they can be run. So test execution schedule should take into account such factors as prioritization, dependencies, confirmation tests, so regression tests, and the most efficient sequences of executing the test. So in the schedule, you know, we have scheduled the test cases that there are some factors that influence our test effort. uh, Factors influencing test efforts may include characteristics of product, so our product which we are developing, and characteristics of development process. So whatever development process we have followed, waterfall, agile, scrum, and so on. Characteristics of people and the test results. So product characteristics. So you know, we have product characteristics and project characteristics. See, the product is actually the product which we are building for our client. So in project characteristics, there are size of the project. There can be small, big, enough. So risk associated with the product, the quality of the test basis, and the complexity of the product domains, the requirement for quality characteristics, for example, security, reliability, and so on. So requirement level of details are for test documentation, requirement for legal and regulatory compliance. These are some of the product characteristics. So when we talk about the development process characteristics, this is stability and maturity of the organization. So if the organization is mature, definitely they will have proper documented, well established process, which they are following for in their development process. The test approach, the tool use, whatever the tools they are using, the test process and time pressure. So when we talk about people characteristics, so people characteristics mean people involved with expertise, the skills and experience of the people involved, especially if they have experience with similar product or service. Team cohesion and leadership, these are some of the people characteristics. And test results can be the number and severity of defects found, the amount of rework required. So test estimation, when we talk about estimation techniques, there are a number of estimation techniques used to determine the effort required for adequate testing. One is metric based testing. So in the metric based testing, we estimating the test effort based on metrics of farmer similar projects based upon typical values. So in the expert based techniques, we estimating the test effort based upon the experience of the owner of testing task by expert. Test monitoring and control, which is in section 5.3. So purpose of test monitoring is to gather information and provide feedback and visibility about the test activities. So information to be monitored may be collected manually or through automation, through our automated software. So test control describes any or guiding or corrective decision taken as a result of information and metrics gathered, possibility reported. So in test monitoring and control, example of test control actions include reprioritizing tests when identify risk occur. For example, there is some risk, we are going to deliver the late, we prioritize the tests, our test effort. So changing the test schedule due to unavailability of test environment, other resources. For example, if the environment is not available, so we need to change the schedule, update the schedule. So re-evaluating when the test item meets an interior exit criteria due to rework. So we need to re-evaluate. This is ongoing activity. So test monitoring and controlling is ongoing activity. Matrices unit testing, we know we are testing, so there are some matrices we use. Matrices can be collected during and at the end of test activities. So matrices are collected during the project. Progress against the plan, schedule, and budget. Current quality of the test subject. Adequacy of the test approach. Effectiveness of test activities with respect to objectives. So there are some common test matrices include percentage of planned work done in the test cases preparation, percentage of planned work done in test environment preparation. So other one is test cases execution, for example the number of test cases run, fail, pass, and so on. So common test matrices include defect information, defect density, that is test coverage of the requirement, for example user story, acceptance criteria, risk and code. So task completion, resource allocation and usage and effort. Cost of testing include the cost compared to the benefit of finding the next defect, or the cost compared to benefit of running the next test. Some purposes, contents and audiences for test reports. So a major audience for test reports is stakeholder. The purpose of test reporting is to summarize and communicate test activities information to our stakeholder, so they can get the idea, they can take the informed decision. So during test monitoring and control, the test manager regularly issues test progress reports for stakeholders, and so they can be updated about the quality of the product. They can make right decision at right time. So typically test progress reports and test summary reports may include summary of testing performed, information on what occurred during test period, deviation from plan, including deviation in schedule during or effort of test activity, status of testing, and product quality with respect to exit criteria, definition of done. So when we talk about test progress report and test summary reports may include factors that have blocked or continue to block progress. So matrices of defects, test cases, test coverage, activity progress, resource consumption, residential risk, reusable test work products produced. So configuration management. Let's discuss about configuration management. The purpose of configuration management is to establish and maintain the integrity of component or system. So during the test planning, we define the configuration management procedure, infrastructure. We write the tools, which tools will be used for configuration management. For example, we can use tool of, we have different tools for configuration management. We identify in the test plan. So configuration management may involve ensuring the following: all test items are uniquely identified. Version control. So purpose is that all the items should be uniquely identified. There should not be duplication. So we can track the changes and relate to which are related to each other. All identified documents or software items are referred unambiguously in test or documentation. So in the 5.5 we have risks and testing. So there are some risks in testing, so we need to do risk based analysis, risk based testing, so we can mitigate those risks. So risk involve the possibility of an event in the future which have negative consequences. The level of risk is determined by the likelihood of event and the impact from that event. So if the impact is large, then definitely we need to look at this product. There are some product and project risk. So risk that affecting our product is product risk, and the risk that are affecting our project and project risk. So product risk involve the possibility that our work product, for example specification, component or code may fail to satisfy the legitimate needs of its user and stakeholders. So project risks involve situations that should occur may have negative effect on the project availability. For example, we have wrong project planning, we have shortage of resources, there are conflicts, unavailability, and so on. These are project related risks. Mm, Product related risk, as our product is not working properly. So software might not perform its intended function according to specification. Software might not perform its intended function according to users and stakeholders needs. So these are related to product risk. So these especially so product, products is our code running. Maybe this is a code running in our production environment or in a local environment. A system architecture may not adequately support some non-functional requirement. So for example, our product is not reliable, not user friendly, not fulfilling the security and regulatory requirements. That is product related risks. A particular computation may be performed incorrectly in some circumstances. So if the result is wrong, calculation is wrong, that is product related risk. A loop control structure, for example, there is issue in the looping, so code is wrong, code is giving wrong result. So product risk as response time, these are non-functional requirements may be inadequate for high performance transaction processing system. User experience feedback might not meet product expectations. So there are some project risk also. So for example, we delay in the projects. So persons involved are not skilled, not trained. So there is conflicts between the people. Late changes may cause the issues. So if there is not proper communication between development team and QA team, and QA managers is not informing to stakeholders, these are project risks. So in the project risks, there are some, maybe some of the there may be some improper attitude towards expectations of testing. For example, not appreciating the value of finding defects during testing. So appreciation is very important. If testers are doing testing, so they should be appreciated for their findings. So this is very important. And project risk, we have a requirement may not be defined well enough, requirement may not met. So the test environment may not be ready on the time. Data conversion, migration planning, and other tool support may be late. So weakness in the development process may impact the consistency or quality of the work products. So poor defect management is another project risk. Risk-based testing and product quality. So we should do risk-based testing. Risk-based approach to testing provides proactive opportunities to reduce level of product risk. So risk-based testing draws on the collective knowledge and insight of the project stakeholders and carry out product risk analysis to ensure that the likelihood of the product failure is minimized. Risk management activities provide a disciplined approach to analyze and reevaluate on regular basis what can go wrong, so determine what risks are important to deal with. So if we know if we know earlier the risk, we can minimize, definitely implement actions to mitigate those risks, make contingency plans to deal with the risk should they become so before they become the actual risk. So in the defect management, we purpose of testing is to find the defects. So defect management is very important. In order to manage all defects to resolution, organization should establish a defect management process. So organization should install the defect management. For example, Jira should be there, so developer can report the bugs. So in the defect management, a defect may be reported during coding, static analysis, review. All these during dynamic testing, we not only report the defect during dynamic testing, we also report during reviews, during static analysis, during the documents, and so on. In order to have a effective test, efficient defect management process, organization may define standard for the attributes. So we also should have reporting procedure, how defect will be reported, how they will be communicated, and so on. So defect management, typically defect reports have the following objectives. So in the defect report, which usually QA person develops the defect report. It provides developers and other parties with information about any adverse event that occurred. So it provides test managers a mean of tracking the quality of the work products and impact on the testing. So it provides ideas for development and test process improvement. So with this, so we have come to this session. This session was about test organization. So in test organization, we it's very important to organize all our testing activities so we can get the benefit. Okay. With this, thank you very much. Bye.